This is me. I'm a creator, solopreneur, product designer, webflow developer, and a cat mom. To balance it all, I refined my productivity systems. I implemented time management techniques. But even with these strategies in place, I still went through swings of creative burnout. I was exhausted. It felt like no good idea is ever coming out of my brain again. As creatives who have turned our craft into a job, the things we used to do for personal pleasure become something we do for an audience or for clients. Money, deadlines, online comparison, the pressure of keeping up with algorithms. It's hard. If you felt like that before, you're not alone. According to this report, 6 out of 10 creators suffer from creative burnout. Creative burnout manifests in different ways. For me, the most obvious sign is when my creative tap begins to run dry. I feel like I've run out of ideas and I just can't muster up the motivation to find new ones no matter what I do. The second sign of creative burnout is restlessness. But the irony is that although my creative levels are low, work still goes on. As a result, I struggle to mentally disengage. There is this need to cram my creative pursuit into any spare moment I have. There are also days when I feel dead exhausted. The mere idea of creating feels tiring, and no amount of coffee gives me the needed buzz. I may even find myself despising my creative work. Like everything I make just comes out wrong. All the things I usually enjoy doing, like making videos, designing, writing, suddenly feel like a chore. As someone with high expectations and a growing front log of creative projects, creative burnout feels like a huge roadblock. Here's how I would approach creative burnout. I'm not perfect, but somewhere in the midst of figuring it out, I learned some mindset shifts and lifestyle adjustments to help find peace with myself and my craft. It's one thing to be burnt out. It's another to beat yourself up for it like you've committed a crime. We need to stop demonizing burnout. We're not perfect, and stress is inevitable. The anti-burnout or pro-work-life balance pursuit can sometimes make it seem like work is all bad and life is all good. But this isn't always the case. The perfect work-life balance doesn't exist. So why are we trying so hard to play a game that we can't win? Work-life balance is not a linear seesaw. Imagine trying to always maintain a perfect balance on a scale. It's like expecting yourself to give your 100% at work and squeeze out another 100% for your social life and your family. Isn't it exhausting? You'll never feel like you're measuring up. Instead, it helps to see work-life balance as an ongoing cycle, like catching a cold. Everyone catches a cold. Instead of blaming our immune systems or the weather, we learn to accept it, take meds, get some rest, and slowly get back on our feet. Depending on the season of our life, our style of work might change. Last season, my work routine was more structured. This season, I'm going more with the flow. This doesn't mean I'm going off the grid or I'm slacking off. Rather, I'm learning to be versatile. I adjust my routines according to my energy levels. Instead of fitting into someone else's mold, find a system that works for you. If you're super happy working 9 to 5 and watching Netflix every night, that's amazing. If you're a seasonal sprinter like me who pulls all-nighters for 3 months and takes the following month off, that's amazing too. On any given day or season, it's important we understand how much creative work we can handle, and then reserve blocks of time for deep and focused work. Work can be stressful, but there are also moments you feel inspired. I also need to say this. Don't talk down on those who genuinely enjoy hard work. Don't tell them that it will make them unhappy long term, because there's no universal formula for what people should or shouldn't do. There's only what's right for you. There seems to be a romanticized idea that as creatives, we need to eat, live, and breathe our work. Even more so when our craft lives online today. Our name, our face, our personality are all interweaved into the work we produce. But you're more than your craft, your resume, and your blog posts. No vanity metric and no amount of money you make can ever define your worth as a human being. You're so much more than that. And sometimes, working on client projects feels lonely. Writing can seem like typing into a void. If you can relate, find a good support system to lean on. Join an online community of other creatives. Social connection has been proven to improve our overall emotional and physical well-being. When you collaborate with others, You may even create something more amazing than if you worked on it by yourself. Even if you just collaborate on 1 or 2 passion projects, it can still help reignite your creative fire. So don't suffer in silence. Make sure you have people to go to when you're struggling and when you're thriving as well. When we get too caught up with doing work or thinking about our work, we tend to neglect our basic needs. We tend to neglect ourselves. Creative burnout can be due to chronic stress. It compromises our physical and mental capabilities and hence our ability to create. It sounds complicated. There is a lot of science behind these mechanisms of stress, but what I've learned is that it helps to go back to the basics. Get our sleep, nutrition, and exercise in check. If you're constantly getting sick or having sleep problems, seek advice from a healthcare professional to rule out any underlying causes. Preventing burnout is important, but creative burnout is often inevitable. That's why I want you to know that it's okay to slip out sometimes. We don't need the perfect work-life balance to be happy. Instead, accepting that we are on the wrong side of the seesaw may be better than trying to force a shaky equilibrium. There are times when I work 14-hour days, commit to more projects than I should, scrap an entire YouTube video, and just can't seem to produce anything at all. But instead of demonizing any of these behaviors, let's pause, reflect, show ourselves some compassion. Let's adapt to our needs in the different seasons of our lives. And no matter what season you're in right now, I'm here to celebrate every part of you and remind you how great you are, regardless of the work you produce. Thank you for sticking around. I love sharing my perspective on solopreneurship, design, and productivity, and you may find useful resources in the video description or check out my other videos. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!